All right, so this week's topic of Amuna Mondays was accountability, faith at its finest. And before I begin, the class is dedicated to a couple names. I'll say them now and I'll repeat them at the end as well. So therefore, Refuah Shalema for Leah Lilach Bat Sarachana, may she have an immediate, speedy, full recovery. And Lule Nishmat for Gabrielle Masauda Bat Sarah and Roger Asher Ben Marcel. May both their neshamas have the ultimate aliyah. So the topic of accountability, faith at its finest. The first thing to start off about is why would people not take accountability? And the truth is that I find the number one reason for people not taking accountability is fear. Fear of being judged, fear of how they're being perceived. Like, it really just comes down to fear. So why do I say faith at its finest when referencing accountability? And the truth is, I find that accountability is something that is the closest resembling to God. Like, when a person takes true accountability, the truth is they're untouchable. Government, parents, friends, relationships, nothing like affects them. Like, they literally can't be affected by him. And they don't care about it. Why? Because at the end of the day, accountability is what it is. It's like, if I already own up to it, what can you do to me? What can be done? And owning up to it means you take whatever consequences come with it. You own up to the fact that, okay, I messed up. My bad. Or I did something. All right, my bad. It's like, so now what? It's like you show up to work one day late and the boss tells you you're late. And instead of having a whole bunch of excuses, even if it's legitimate excuses, you just, I'm sorry, won't happen again. Own up to it. Accountability. The fact is, yeah, can I make 10 excuses? Sure. But that doesn't change the fact that I was late. So it's own up to the fact, yeah, I'm late. And normally you'll see, once a person does that, there's really no back and forth. There's no confrontation. There's no, like, it doesn't get dragged out. Like, because there's nothing else to say. All right, I already apologized. So now what? That's it. All right, it is what it is, and let's move on. That's really how it goes. Like, there's nothing anyone can do to a person that is holding themselves accountable. And the truth is, when you find somebody that's holding themselves accountable, and accountability's in their eyes, and you can see that they hold themselves accountable on every aspect of their life, if you really look at it, they don't fear anyone. There's no concept of fear towards anybody but God. And at the same time, there's no reason in this scenario to, quote unquote, fear God, because God already knows. Hashem already knows what you did. So when you acknowledge that and you start realizing God already knows, so why would I not own up to it? The only reason they wouldn't own up to it is the fear of other people and factoring in other opinions. So it's extremely relating to God, because you don't answer to anybody. You answer to literally nobody, not the government, not a judge. Like, the truth is, if even a person is an extreme case, even if a person is facing murder charges in court, at the end of the day, if he just says, or she just says, guilty, just plead guilty, that's the end of it. Nothing. The judge takes the gavel, hits it down. All right, let's proceed to how much time they're going to serve. That's it. There's no back and forth. There's no dragged out thing. But if you say no, say not guilty, it can go on for years. It's like there is no argument. There's nothing happening anymore. There's no confrontation once a person holds themselves accountable and just takes accountability. But we live in this day and age where accountability is not something that's taken. Even if you did it, plead not guilty. Even if you did it, say you didn't do it. Because it's going to be smoother and blah, blah, blah. It's at the end of the day, nobody's really holding themselves accountable. And that just shows they don't factor in Hashem. Because if you factor in Hashem and you understand God's the only thing to ever fear, Why would you not hold yourself accountable? It's not like God doesn't know already. God already knows what you did. Hashem literally knows what already happened. He already knows the outcome. He already knows the truth. He knows what really happened. So just own up to it. And accountability doesn't mean you take 100% accountability for everything that's ever happened. No. Sometimes it just contains the fact that you hold yourself accountable for the 1% that you did. You know, because there's scenarios where, I didn't do anything It wasn't on me, this and that. No, you did something. You always had to do something. There's never a scenario where you did absolutely nothing. Just by being there, you did something. You're there. Hold yourself accountable. By saying you did nothing, you're not holding yourself accountable for even the 1% that you did. Doesn't mean that you own up to everything, that everything's your fault and it's all on me. No. There are things that happen out of your control. There are things that happen that be based on other people's feelings and reactions. And you don't need to own up to that because that's not you. You just hold yourself accountable. Make sure you're doing the right thing. And when you aren't doing the right thing, apologize for it. Own up to it and move on. That's really as simple as life is. And it takes a massive confidence boost, and it takes a lot of knowing yourself to hold yourself accountable and not look at it as something that's like, what are my parents going to think? What is my spouse going to think? What is my boss going to think? It doesn't matter what they think. What happened. And you can see, and you'll see in life that people will sometimes accept you for who you are now, or some will hold you for things that you did 10 years ago. And at the end of the day, whether I did or somebody did something 10 years ago, all right, sure, I did it. But you know what? That's not who I am now. Some people can look at you for now. Some can't. And that defines them. If they're not able to look at you for something for now and not look at your past, or whether it's a month ago, 2 months ago, a year ago, that's more defining on them, not you. And it's a sense of confidence when you operate that way, and you operate with this understanding that I can't dictate how people respond. That's them. I can just give them something to respond to. The fact is, here are the facts. How they want to respond, I can't dictate that. But at the end of the day, God already knows, so why am I hiding it? So that's really where accountability and faith align. You can't have faith without accountability. And the truth is, accountability comes with faith. The minute you hold yourself accountable, deep down, you really do have faith, because you're realizing that you're untouchable by anybody but God. And God already knows. And if he hasn't touched you now, why is he going to touch you later? If it hasn't already happened, like, I cheated this person in business. If you haven't gotten punished now, why was he, like, he already knows what you did. He already knows you cheated the person in business. So you might as well own up to it. And it's not a concept of fear. It's a concept of God is the only one that can ever do anything to me. You know, not the law, not this, not that. And when you own up to the consequence, and it's like, I'll take any consequence that comes with it. The truth is, you're untouchable. It's the closest thing resembling God, because God is untouchable. So with that, I hope everyone understands. If you don't, please reach out with any questions or comments. And it's for Refuah Shalema again for Leah Lilach Bat Sarachana. May she have an immediate, speedy, full recovery. And Lulei Nishmat for Gabrielle Masoud Bat Sarah and Roger Asher Ben Marcel. May both their nishamas have the ultimate Aliyah. See you next week.